Guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account, and today we're looking at the Maulers. So yesterday I did go through the Lightbearer faction. I'm really breaking it down, who you should build, when you should build, things of that nature. And today we're going to do it with the Maulers. Maulers are a little different of a faction to build. Overall, it seems like between the Awakened Brutus version, I would prioritize Awakened Brutus. A lot of players say Awakened Thane. A lot of them, again, are kind of on the fence of both. Awakened Brutus has made his way into a lot of the Cursed Realm comps. We've seen him in PvP. He absolutely destroys the tower. We've seen him in a lot of lineups, which is the reason, guys, I would probably prioritize him over Thane, but Thane is still a very solid choice. Now, overall, looking at the faction, guys, Entendre wants to, you want to build up Entendre. She is actually one of the first ones. The stronger that you build her, she is a Mauler version of Isolde. So getting that plus 30 signature item in there, building out this plus 60 engraving is what deals with the survivability issues that we do see with the faction, guys. But she is one of the primary heroes. Again, she's used in the tower. She's used in the Cursed Realm. We've seen her in a bunch of different formations based on her survivability. Now, Kren, very similar, guys. We see him in a lot of the Cursed Realm comps. He is honestly one of the biggest carriers within the tower. He can solo a lot of the Mauler stages, which is incredible for being such a kind of a unique hero. If you have the plus 60 engraving on him, it also does provide him a massive damage mitigation factor, which a lot of players love when they're building out Kren. Also, because he is a damage dealer, like we've said before, overall, the bigger that you build him, the better you build him, the stronger he is going to do within the towers. Now, Sophia used to be a hero that everybody prioritized on building. Now, short of the tower, unfortunately, she doesn't really have any use. So I would not recommend building her. Again, she is one of the oldest, probably useful, very useful, once upon a time kind of heroes. Skarath is, of course, the 5 pull. You have to have his 3 of 9 furniture. So very similar to Rain, guys. Plus 20 signature item, 3 of 9 furniture on him. You don't need the engraving on him. You don't even need the plus 30 signature item. His majority is just used for that 5 pull, nothing else. Now, he does have a spot within the Twisted Realm with Dark Namora, which, of course, with Moriel in there or running it with Shamira, he is one of the damage dealers in there. That's why I've built him up a little bit higher. But again, short of being that 5 pull, it really doesn't have very much utility outside of that Mauler tower. Zatrena, she's a hero that I've built a couple times on different accounts. Short of the tower, that is really the only place that I have seen her used. She's kind of fallen out of PvP since we have a bunch of different heroes. So again, in my opinion, guys, she would probably be a pass for building on the Maulers. Now, Warwick fills a very unique niche because of this Bonebreaker ability. So this gives a very, very big damage increase when he uses this Bonebreaker ability, which makes him a viable hero for bosses. Again, plus 20 signature item on him. You don't need furniture, you don't need engraving unless you're building him up, if you're whaling it out. Even if you don't have him or have him at a lower level, he will still work well even at a lower level as long as you do have his skills unlocked. Now, looking at Drez is a little guy that has made a kind of a pretty big impression. We've seen him in the Grand Hunt. We've seen him in a couple of the Cursed Realm battles. We've also seen him within the Abyssal Expedition. He does very well. Hunting Fields, he does very well. But again, short of those, not a huge priority to build him. Again, looking at the faction, he would probably not be one of the first ones. In the tower itself, he does well by himself, more of a solo kind of hero with the shielding ability. So again, Drez probably would not be my biggest priority to build. Ty Lee is another hero that does have to be built out. So what I mean by her is plus 30 signature item, 9 of 9 furniture, also the plus 60 engraving, because this actually gives right here, current health is ignored. She enters this powerful state, but she also gets an immunity with that 9 of 9 furniture. So she can actually take fatal damage if she is in a frenzy. She will continue doing this damage. And if you have this plus 60 signature item right here, she can be so strong she can actually burn down entire teams while her immunity is still up. Again, stacking stacking the build on her, stacking the stats on her, it makes a big difference. But again, she does fill kind of a niche within the tower and within the campaign. A lot of players just pass on building her because, again, it is a super high investment for a minimal return for a hero. Now, looking at Titus, Titus is one of the few heroes within the faction that have crowd control. A lot of players do utilize him in the tower for that fact. Again, as a hero, I wouldn't really prioritize him, which I know I'm saying it about a lot of heroes, but overall, guys, he fills, again, short of the tower. There isn't really much place for him. Now, Nemisu is one of the heroes that I would build first, just for the simple fact he is support. He is a healer. When it comes to the tower, he is your only healer. The Maulers don't have many healers because the Maulers actually possess a life leech effect. The problem with life leech, guys, that has always been since day one, is if a hero is immune or if a hero has a shield, life leech doesn't do anything. So that ability actually has zero. It doesn't do anything. If the target does not take damage, there's nothing to leech, which is the reason, since all of the immunity heroes have come out, life leech has kind of died out until they decide to rework it and make Maulers a viable faction. Now, Brutus is a hero, guys. Absolutely, you have to build him early. Even at an elite or an elite plus, he will do incredibly well, guys, because of his immunity. I believe it is this one, Last Gasp. This gives him an immunity. You can get an 8-second immunity on him. So essentially, very early, very low level, you can get an immunity tank. A lot of players will even run Brutus just at Elite Plus to get this 8-second immunity in there. Now, when you start building out a signature item, it is extended. When you start building out furniture, the exact same. You get an extended for that Last Gasp. So now in total, I believe I have an 11-second immunity with him. He still makes it in a lot of formations. We use him again as that immunity tank. He is still viable today, which is the reason you can build him out higher. But again, early game, there is no need for him. Once you unlock him, that is where you want. Getting his plus 20 eventually, again, allows him to extend his death. Once you get him to Ascended, getting a little bit of furniture, again, lets you extend that death. Now, granted, as a hero, guys, you only need at Mythic, you only need a plus 30 signature item on him. The only thing he is used for is right here at the start of battle. He marks enemies with petrification, and then Granite will actually die, especially if you don't have him that built. When he dies, he petrifies the enemy team. And usually with Lucretia will come through and just wipe everybody out with that. So again, Granite at Mythic with the plus 30 signature item doesn't need furniture or the engraving. Now, Scrag, pretty unique, guys. You want a plus 20 signature item on him, but the 9 of 9 furniture for Scrag is absolutely vital, guys. This is what creates the invade team. Attack rating by 20%, mitigation 25%, 100 energy every 3 seconds on the enemy side of the battlefield. So as he goes over and invades onto that side, guys, this is a absolute monster boost, which is the reason you want to build out Scrag. And then the plus 20 allows him to essentially ult 50 times, he gets energy faster. You can see only requires 500 energy the first time, but energy that recovered is injured is increased by 50%. So when he takes damage, he is going to be regenerating energy faster, which means that usually when he comes right out of the gate, he'll take 1 or 2 hits. He will ult, pushing right over to that enemy side. And he also does have a crowd control aspect, which is pretty good. Scrag, definitely one that you do want to build. Anasta, now she is another hero that is relatively new, but overall, guys, we're seeing her used within the Curse Realm. We're seeing her used in the tower. PvP, she is doing incredibly well. She's a hero, again, that I feel like early game is not going to be a huge priority, but as you get further, guys, you are going to want to build her, and you're going to want to go ahead and build her pretty solid. Even looking here, guys, the plus 30 and the plus 60, this is where a lot of the mitigation comes in. Each stack reduces the amount of damage she receives by 20%, and she recovers, so she has a heal over time. And then each stack of this Brawler's Protection, she has her own built-in mitigation, which is very strong for heroes. which is the reason why we do want to build her out. Now, Verk, unfortunately, he used to be a really strong trap hero. Even when he was reworked, worked incredibly well. As of now, guys, short of the tower, there is no place for him. K-Sauce increases life leech ability. He actually has this rabid thirst ability. Again, life leech is super ineffective, which is the reason why even fully built K-Sauce is one that you don't really utilize outside of the Mauler tower. Inoki, same. Some do use it for the shielding aspect, but when it does come to the tanks, usually he gets run right over. If you're in any level deficiency, he will get completely dominated. Now, Thisu is kind of unique. Thisu is a hero that does an incredible amount of damage, has a decent amount of survivability. Again, short of the Mauler tower, I don't see him used anywhere else. Early game, a lot of these heroes do have a little bit of viability, but as you start getting into team building, Thisu isn't in any teams short of that Mauler tower, which is the reason why I haven't really built him up any further. And then Alero, exact same, guys. It is the Mauler tower. So a bunch of the heroes are kind of tied to there, even with his ability being a support class. Super disappointing. Most of the time, by the time he comes back to the allied side, the entire team is dead because it's a 5-on-4 while he goes around and sneaks and does his recon ability, which again is another reason why I really haven't built him out. These top, or these kind of bottom four, I don't really use for much of anything. There isn't a lot of use cases for them. Short of the Mauler tower is the only place that you're going to be utilizing them. So looking at our wish list, guys, I'm going to drop these out like we did yesterday. So looking again at the heroes that I would kind of prioritize in building, Brutus, you want very early. Again, he's a hero that you are going to use for a lot of AFK Arena. Even on the stages that I am on, you are using Brutus for quite a bit of those. Scrag is another hero, guys, you do want to build out. Entendre, you want to build out. Kren, absolutely you want to build out. And then I would probably do, and again, this is kind of a personal preference, I would do Skarath, again, leaning into that 5-pull that is going to be so prevalent when it comes to building out a couple heroes, including Iran and Leica within that 5-pull. We also see it a lot of times with the Thorn Cheese ability, that they'll put Iran Skarath in there to go ahead and pull everyone and stack them on to stacking them onto Thorin. And also, guys, again, Brutus doesn't really need to be built up that much. So once you do probably get an Elite Plus, at least an Elite Plus copy of Brutus, I might even swap Anastat in there. Again, looking at these ones, Drez could be a pretty good choice to put in there as well, or Nemesu. Either you're going to level up and you're going to overpower and kind of run through the tower, or you're going to have Nemesu in there as support. Again, there's a couple variations in here for heroes that you can put in here kind of earlier, but Brutus is really the one you want to focus on, along with Scrag. Both of them will do pretty well. Scrag also does have some damage mitigation, and Kren is kind of a big priority in here because of his viability within formations and the damage he is going to bring. He can actually carry a majority of the Mauler towers. I was interested in looking kind of at the popular heroes, and I'm not sure. I think you can sort it by faction. So looking here, guys, again, Skarath, Brutus, Kren, of course, the Awakened Brutus, Scrag. So a majority of the heroes that I am putting into the wish list, only one I don't see there is Entendre. But again, Entendre does have to be built up quite a bit to be super, super effective within this role because of her survivability. But when you come into the actual Mauler faction, it does work incredibly well with some of these heroes. They have sort of a unique synergy together, but overall, guys, a majority of these heroes are not used in stages. A lot of them are just used for the Mauler stages or the Mauler tower. So short of that, even looking here in normal formations, when you look at campaigns and when you look at different stages, again, it's kind of interesting to look at the formations when you look at Maulers. So here, again, this is kind of similar pulled together for Lucretia, but you have the instant petrification there of granite. Even here, we don't have any. Here, again, we don't have any Maulers. Here, we don't see any Maulers. And then here, of course, we don't have any Maulers. And even here, most of the players won't use granite. They'll use Iran, literally stack everybody else. But Looking overall at the campaign utilization, I see Awakened Brutus every now and then, but overall there isn't very many Maulers at all that are being used within the campaign. Most of them are kind of locked to either the PvP aspect. Some of them do appear in the Cursed Realm, and then we also do have the Mauler Tower, which is the reason why a lot of players do not focus on the Maulers, because it is just the tower that they're running through. Sorry guys, so that'll do it for the Mauler summary. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.